we set up a studio here upstairs, a recording studio, and then this is our little, I guess, practice room.
Yeah, we're doing a live stream here in a few hours on Facebook Live, and we're gonna do it from here. We call it happy hour. Just play a few songs, say hi to people, and because we've been so busy in the studio that we haven't had a chance to do one of these in probably like a month or something.
That's fantastic. I'm looking forward to checking that out in a few hours. Is there another claim to fame for your town besides you guys working there and being around there?
Are you talking about where we are now in Missouri?
Yes.
Tyson Chicken.
Yeah, or Jack Henry and Associates is out here. That's a really big banking software company. Actually, the Brumleys are from this area. They have a publishing house down here. They were their granddad. He wrote "I Saw the Light."
Wow.
Cool tune, yeah.
Not the Todd Rundgren song "I Saw the Light," correct?
No, the "I Saw the Light" and "I Saw the Light." You know that
Nice.
one Hank Williams did.
Well, it sounds like when this all blows over, this is going to be one of the towns I visit. I was in Kansas City, which I'm sure is nowhere near there a couple months back, but
3 hours, about 3.5 hours.
Okay. I've had worse. So you guys, the Black Moods, Sunshine, kind of diametrically opposed names right there. Do you have to go out of your way to like have happy sounding names, given that the name of the band is a little darker?
You know, we had never really thought about that.
I don't think we're really dark, to be honest with you. Our name is a little misleading. Like, we're the Black Moods, but like this album kind of goes to show that like we're not really that dark of people, if you will, you know.
Yeah, we don't take a lot of stuff serious anyways. We're just always goofing around. And the Black Moods, it just came from Jim Morrison quote. So
Well, the band just always talked about him being in a black mood.
yeah.
I mean, Paul McCartney referred to John Lennon in the same way too. So like, that's cool. I never heard anybody else use that. And then all of a sudden I heard it from two of my favorite bands. So.
And speaking of those favorite bands, you guys have played alongside Robbie Krieger. How did that happen? Do you have a really good agent? I know that you recently signed with CAA.
We had an agent.
Okay, predator tense there.
He did hook that up for us. We got a couple dates with Robbie because it was the 50th anniversary for the Doors.
Yeah.
So Robbie was going out, and we lucked out. I think that's like one of the only things that we got out of that company. Yeah, but it was really cool. And then it didn't work out, but it kind of worked out. I felt bad because Robbie's son was singing for him. Mm-hmm. He had guest guys come up, but a couple of the shows that we did with him, his singer was sick. Mm-hmm. So backstage he was like sweating and just, you could just tell he wasn't feeling good. So he came and asked if I could fill in and do some songs. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? So I had to fill in for Jim Morrison for a few gigs. No big deal.
Hopefully we can do that again now that we have CAA on our team.
Yeah.
I think it's inevitable. And when somebody looks at your credits, I believe you now have 4 Billboard charting singles.
Yeah,
right. 4 now. Damn it! Like, there comes to this point when you're doing a 10-song set and like 7 of the songs charted. What was the first song that properly charted? Jog my memory on that one.
Belladonna.
And we all got tattooed because of that. Belladonna.
Wow, you were devoted to the craft because I see the guitar tattoo beyond all that. So there is no plan B for this band, it sounds like.
You can actually plug it in and play it.
Yeah, it works like Bill and Ted's.
Well, what was the moment where you started to realize this is a real band, this is a career, and not just, well, I hope we get another single and I hope we can get another tour?
Once we made the first record, and we kind of figured out, well, we made an album, and we're not just going to sit here in Phoenix and just play and try. You can't just sell it to the same, 300 people that come to your show. So we kind of had to, it was a decision to be like, because I told the guys too, because I just didn't want to go out, or I didn't want to do anything else. So there was I didn't want to work in any other business. And so it was like either, we need to go out and tour on this album and start to try to make our own moves, because we didn't have a booking agent. We really didn't know how any of it legitimately worked as in the business aspect of things. It was just kind of, okay, we got a map out, and we were like, well, I'm from Missouri. We're in Phoenix. We can play, we can stay in Missouri and play around there for a couple of weeks. So we just got to fill in the dates in between because we have free room aboard when we're here. So we did that, and we did it all old school. We made our own press kits, and we bought cupcakes and went around to every radio station and every TV station. And we're like, here, this is our record. Here's some cupcakes. And it worked.
Yeah. But to answer your question, when did we decide this? Ages ago. I mean, there wasn't, I don't remember the day where I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. I just always wanted to play music. And then I met Josh, and same mindset. And then we met Jordan, same mindset. And by that time, we already had a record deal that, wasn't what we expected. And then we moved on and were able to get out of that politely. And then we signed with Steel Horse Entertainment, which is an independent label. We
went from Sony to an indie label, and the indie labels got us, we have 4 songs on Billboard.
Yeah.
And Sony, like the people that we worked with didn't think we were a radio band, and we knew better.
Yeah.
So once we got out of that deal and got with the Steel Horse, it was, full tilt, damn the torpedoes.
Damn the torpedoes, petty reference or not. I think that you just brought up a really good point where that major label deal, a lot of the people think you get the major label deal, that's the end of the rainbow, when the reality is that's actually the start of all the hard work. And so many great bands had that first record deal and nothing happened. And it goes down the list, not just bands, Lady Gaga, Alicia Keys, everybody had their bad first deal that they got out of. Maybe they didn't go independent right away, but what was the first band that all of you, and this is for all of you, kind of realized of an independent band that made it in your area or your region where you went, we could do that too?
Man, for us, it was probably, the Refreshments. They're another band that came out of.
Oh, yeah.
And Roger Klein, the singer for the band, they got screwed pretty much out of when they put out their second record. They didn't get the support, I don't think, from the major that they signed with Mercury or something like. I'm not sure.
I thought the first record was on Mercury. Yeah, Biggie, Fizzy Fuzzy, that album.
Big Fuzzy. And they put out the second record, and they just didn't get the support, and just put a bad taste in Roger's mouth. So he was like, "Screw this," And that's who they went on to build one of the biggest festivals that's like independently produced. It's in Mexico that we've played the past 7 years, called Circus Mexicus.
Really?
And, oh yeah, they'll have 6,000 people plus down there from all across the United States, and it's like a 3-day festival. People go down there. I don't know if you've ever heard of Puerto Penasco. It's called Rocky Point.
Americans call it Rocky Point. Yeah.
That's where that's where it goes. And so those guys right there are a perfect example of going independent and succeeding at it.
Yeah, it almost makes the King of the Hill theme song like the 3rd or 4th most famous thing that they did at this point, if they can build a festival like that. Do you guys eventually seeing yourselves being able to have a cruise or a festival where you're the center or the star attraction of the whole thing?
That would be
Definitely.
nice.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We've used Roger because we're very good friends with him now, and after all these years, and used a lot of what he's done business-wise as our model. So we're definitely call him up and ask him for advice and different things, and eventually we would like to have our own festival if Torch isn't passed. So we will. And it's cool because I grew up in Phoenix, and my grandfather used to live in Rocky Point, and so I've been going there since I was a kid. So the fact that I'm able to play music there, and they call us Los Moods. Hola, Los Moods. It's pretty cool,
That makes sense to me. And you guys seem to be in excellent spirits for a bunch of people who are being told, well, you can't really do what you do for a living right now. You got the webcast tonight. Is it part of an ongoing thing? Are you going to be webcasting for the foreseeable future? Or do you actually have gigs in the less populated kind of areas? I'm not sure about that.
Yes.
Go ahead.
We do some live streams here and there. They're not really, they're not like on a schedule basis, kind of when we decide to do it. But then we do have a couple shows coming up We're playing 3 nights in Indianapolis at the Rathskeller, and we have a bike rally. Where is it at? It's it's outside of Indy.
Yeah, it's called the Boogie XL in Bedford, Indiana.
So we have a couple things scheduled, and then we have to kind of, keep the guidelines in order, the social distancing, everybody wash your hands and stuff like that. And
Wear your mask in public.
it's outside, so that's a good thing. It's not going to be inside. Everything's going to be spaced out, so it'll be.
Yeah, it's the Rathskeller has the biggest beer garden in the United States that's their whole gig. So, and then I don't think they're selling it to capacity either because of that whole, it's usually you get a table and 4 to 10 people can be at the table, that kind of craziness. So,
Okay.
But whatever keeps everybody safe, we're totally with.
We just want to hear applause.
Yeah, we want to know that people are out there, and so because that's why the live streams is so strange, It's just us, and then you get done, it's like we turn and applaud each other.
Yeah, well, your album, or rather your latest release, did come out in the midst of COVID. The latest few music videos have come out in the midst of the pandemic and all that. Being this kind of limited in some respect, do you know when you're going to make more music? For example, if touring, you couldn't do 300 gigs a year, would you go to making an album every 9 months? That kind of like old 1960s, 1970s style schedule?
Yeah, I mean, right now because we can't do anything else. We just record. We've been working in the studio since this thing started.
Yeah, we moved our studio. We literally picked it and packed it all up and put it in our trailer, and we moved it over here to Monette, Missouri, the Ozarks, where our label head lives. We're in his house, him and his wife's house right now. And we set up here all over the house. So it was guitars and drums and
his bass amp is in her purse closet.
Yeah,
It's got that Louis Vuitton sound.
Yeah, you can really hear the Louis Vuitton in that bass mic.
little bit of Chanel. So we've actually got 6 tracks almost all the way done. And Johnny K is coming down from Chicago. He did the last record. Producer, he's coming down in about a week and a half.
And we just did one track with Eddie Kramer from Eddie Kramer.
Yeah.
He only worked with the Beatles and Kiss, and Led Zeppelin, just those little bands.
Yeah. So we've been keeping super, super busy,
That might explain our attitude. It's a little slightly upbeat.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I mean, if we weren't doing what we're doing right now, we wouldn't be touring, like you said earlier.
A lot of bands
we'd be depressed. I mean, which we still kind of are because we can't tour. But luckily we made a move really quick early on when we saw this stuff kind of happening, and we came out here to Missouri, like Chico said, and set up a studio and just tried to record songs and write, be creative, and just do something else to keep our minds off of what's actually going on.
And also, we're close to Table Rock Lake right here. The creeks are right here. We can go crawdad and hanging out, just swimming in. And there's a pool right behind us that we can jump in if we get creatively stumped.
Yeah. So we work 5 days a week, and then we go play on the weekends. And
so we swim 5 days a week and
occasionally play guitars or something.
So you guys are coming out of the pandemic shredded in more ways than one, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
a lot of beer involved.
Yeah, the swimming and stuff just compensates for all the beer intake.
Okay, fair assessment right there. So 2 quick questions, and then you're free to get back to prepping for the webcast. And the first one is, what's the best television or movie discovery you've had since being quarantined?
Man, that's a really good question, actually. I don't know. They're all pretty bad, but they're good. They're good bad.
Yeah,
it's like that. It's that Jeffrey Epstein thing and the Tiger King stuff.
Yeah.
It's
F is for Family. I've been watching that, the Bill Burr thing.
It's
Pretty awesome. Yeah, it's I didn't realize the cast in there, Sam Rockwell, Laura Dern, Vince Vaughn, executive produced it. It's it's full of heavy hitters. So that's good. And then the new Scooby-Doo movie's pretty good.
Scooby-Doo with Kiss or the Scooby-Doo proper?
Well, that's the episode. The new Scooby-Doo's got Will Forte is the voice of Shaggy. Zach Efron is what's his ass? The handsome dude from it. I'm just drawing a blank. Daphne's hot as shit in it.
Anything for you, Chico?
I would have to say the Epstein thing. Even though it was terrible, I couldn't stop watching it. you know.
Yeah. Wow.
Makes sense. So in closing, any last words for the kids?
Wash your
Don't be
hands.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Don't be, yeah.
Wash your hands too.
And wash your hands.
And follow us on Spotify.
Yeah. Follow us online.
Yeah, there's a little button that you can click that says FOLLOW. You should just push it everywhere you go. Facebook, Instagram. Just go ahead, click it.
But, I mean, also, you got to keep positive, like, during these strange times. You know, don't let it get you and that kind of thing. That's my best advice, is to be creative and try to find ways to keep busy.
Yeah, and be safe and think about everybody else. And, you know, the sooner everybody cooperates and does what you need to do, the sooner this will go away.
Please
And wash your hands.
make it go away.
Guys, thank you so much for your time. Hope to eventually see you live in New York when this all blows over, but keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks,
Awesome.
man. I'm
Thanks
going
for
to
the
come
time.
over and play that Pac-Man machine soon.
Oh, yeah.
You guys, anytime you want. Simple as that. Enjoy the pool. Take care.
Paltrocast.